This video I'm going to finally be swapping out the stock handlebars, a little bit wider than these stock ones. Well, this thing's pretty stable, I gotta admit, with even these stock handlebars. These aren't bad handlebars in my opinion, as long as you keep all your hardware tight. The only drawback to the one piece here is, of course, you cannot fold the handlebars down like you can with these. I don't really ever fold the handlebars down anyway. Before I start that though, I want to show you, I've got all my wiring and everything back in the scooter from my last video, which was part 2 of the controller wiring. At the end of the video I hadn't put everything back in yet, just for saving time. Anyway, I got everything back in, chassis, my battery, my controllers. I actually have them flipped, so this one's facing this way, the end of the wires are coming out this way. That's the A controller, front controller. My B controller, the rear controller, is facing this way with wires coming out that way. And the reason why I did that is the motor wiring. The back motor wire comes in here and it's actually pretty long, so I ran it through the back here and ran the motor wires this way for the rear controller. The cable for the front motor comes down through here and it's about this length, so I needed to wire it over to this side to keep things straight. That's why this one's pointed this way, and here's all my phase wires and hall wires. I just connected them there and then shoved them down inside the chassis there. Then all my cross wiring between controller A and controller B is just routed down the middle here, and all my lighting cabling with that octopus cable is all in the back here, connecting up all my lights. Before I get on with the handlebars, I've done this with all my other scoots, and I still happen to have one piece of rubber matting left over, some old matting I had from work before they were throwing out. You can just buy this stuff on Amazon, like rubber bench matting. It's maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch thick. Thickness really isn't that important. But make sure it's big enough to cover your chassis like this. This makes a great gasket, so I don't have to worry about sealing it with any sealant or silicone or anything like that. And it makes taking it apart, putting it back together nice and easy. Alright, so on to the handlebars. Bought this new neck for it. So you can see this one mounts on here and just goes straight across. But then we have, maybe like 4 or 5 inches of raising the handlebars with this bracket here. So I'm not going to use that bracket anymore. So I got this new one here, which will mount on the pull there in place of this one. So first of all, I need to completely remove everything from these old handlebars. Got everything off the handlebars. And by the way, if you're going to be doing anything with the scooter, get yourself a set of metric Allen wrenches. This one's ranges from 1.5 millimeter up to 10 millimeter, and this will take care of anything on this scooter has on it. So since I'm not going to be using any part of this handlebar, the handlebars, the brackets, even the neck over here, I'm just going to have to loosen these 2 screws, and this will just slide off that bar there. And as you can see, the whole bracket and everything, again, I just took off from the stem there. Mount that onto my stem here, like this. Should be at least flush. And yeah, probably flush is good. I'm going to leave just a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so sticking out the top like that. And I'm going to tighten these up, but I'm not going to fully tighten them because once I get the handlebars and everything on and put it down on the ground, I'm going to need to adjust them. Alright, so I got that on there. Next I just need to thread my handlebars through here, center them, and tighten them up with these 4 screws. So these handlebars have this little diagram in the middle here. It's kind of like the bullseye thing in the middle. The center of that should be mounted like roughly in that area, and then that gives you your kind of your pitch back. So in other words, they're not straight up like this, they're kind of pitched back a little bit and rising up more. Okay, got those on there and tightened up good. This diagram is definitely very useful. It lets you line it up perfectly. They look really good. Yeah, I like it. I think it came out pretty good. I just have to put all my things back on the bar. So to be able to get this other side on here, because the bars are longer, I had to actually remove the nuts from the bottom of my throttle bracket there, and you can see it's open much wider than it's supposed to go, but I had to do that to slide it down the bar enough to get enough slack in this cabling to get my brake lever bracket over the end here. Everything's on loosely, you need to tighten it up yet. Just want to show you guys, if any of you don't know, there is in the bottom of the stock display. There is a USB charger under this little opening here. Pull the rubber thing out and you can plug in your standard USB, like charge your phone or whatever. Got everything tightened down the way I want, the positions I want it. Everything looks good. Handlebars look great on there. Yeah, I think that came out really good. So you can see here, compared to the original stock ones, the height difference. Here's what they look like from this side. And the front. Go make a gasket for the deck here real quick and put that on there. And put the deck back on. I'm done messing around inside for now. I got this cut to the size I want. Around the corners. It doesn't have to be perfect because the deck will overhang this by a bit, so you're not going to see this underneath. So I got the deck just sitting on top of the piece of rubber. I think I've got it lined up pretty good. And I'm just going to take a pen and draw circles in the holes there onto the rubber mat. So now it's just a matter of putting holes in it. Alright, so got the gasket on the bottom of my deck and put the screws through. So I'm just going to flip it over and put it on the chassis there. Alright, got the deck back on with the gasket underneath it. Came out pretty good. I have a mirror I'm going to throw on this side and also my phone mount. I'll link these things down in the comments as well. If you do, any of you guys get this mirror set, it says in the instructions, but they really mean it when it says this hardware, when you're screwing it together and follow the directions, it's very tight. And just to let you know what I'm talking about, I've got my Allen wrench in here and you can see it's still quite a ways to go. So normally it's pretty loose, a screw like this, but this one's really tight. You can hear it. And you just got to keep forcing it. You would think there's something wrong here, like it's stripped or something, but it's not. It's meant to be that way, and it's meant to be tight like that. Being that tight allows you to be able to adjust the angles of these, have it tight enough where it's not going to move where you go over a bump or something. But it's to the point where you can still adjust your mirror. I also just today received this scooter bag. I have these on all my scooters, different brand names, but it's the same one. And this is the 3-liter size, so it's the bigger size. Had a bit of a problem at first because due to the the incline and the sloping of the handlebars, I couldn't really mount the bag either on this side or this side and have it look very clean. After looking at it for a few minutes, I figured it would mount nicer down here. Again, I'll put a link to this down in the comments along with the other stuff. So that's it for this one. Put on the new handlebars, new neck to the handlebars there, mirror, phone holder, and then of course added the bag to it is what we did here today. So next one's probably going to be the rear end there, taking it apart and greasing the suspension. Till then guys, take care, peace.